Welcome to the Maine-J Show. It's your boy Maine-J, and this is another episode of Maine-Chat. And I got a nice topic that I want to talk to you about today. How's everyone's holiday season been going thus far? Everyone had a great Thanksgiving, a great Black Friday, pre-Thanksgiving, or any other holidays that might be in the month of November. And how's everyone preparing for Christmas and the other holidays due to the pandemic and all the different changes and CDC rules and regulations. I hope everyone at least had a nice, pleasant Thanksgiving. But I wanted to talk to y'all in regards to holidays and other family function events where the family and friends come together and gather together. I read a lot of posts this past week in regards to matriarchs and patriarchs of the family, people who are considered the pillars or the glue, the gel, the jam, the nest, anything that holds, people together. And some of the posts are just like, it's not the same now that, grandma's not here, or grandpa's not here, or mainly about grandmas, or, the matriarchs and the patriarchs. Christmas is just not the same. The holidays are just not the same now that the glue's gone. And I kind of had a revelation, and something that's just kind of like really, really, really been bothering me. That's really been just bothering me is, why is the glue of the family only one person? Why is it that it's only one person that kind of has like the hold on the family, and when that one person goes, it's just like the whole family falls apart? It's kind of bothering me. Why is it only one person? Why is it only one person's responsibility, or one person being responsible for keeping the family together? All the aunts, all the uncles, all the cousins, what are we doing? Why is it only one person? And then when that one person goes, it's just like, well, nothing's the same, nothing continues, nothing keeps on going on. I think that, that's a problem with me. We as families, I guess, got to do better in holding up the family and keeping the glue. Now hear me. I understand that when someone leaves, a married couple, now mom and dad broke up, and now, holidays are different because now, you might feel obligated to be with mom more than dad, and, things are just not the same. Or, you worked at a company for some time and somebody leaves or goes on in the company. People come and people go, things change. And of course, nothing is always going to be the same. It's going to be different. And then of course, someone dies that had an impact. I'm not going to say it's not different. I'm not going to say it's not painful. I'm not going to say, of course, you don't miss them. Of course. But why do things stop, or it's just completely not the same? You know what I mean? I just think that that's a problem when, when things die with the person that died, and traditions and gatherings and different things. I just think that, it should be more than one person that's the glue, more than one person that's keeping the family together, more than one person that's the peacemaker. You get what I'm saying? So that way, when someone does die or something does happen to them, the show can still continue. Okay? Life changes, life alters, but life continues and goes on. And I think that sometimes when people use that, it's not the same now that grandma's gone, or, now that the glue's gone, it's just not the same. I think that that's somewhat an excuse. It's a lazy excuse. Because your grandma at one point felt the same way about her mother or their matriarchs, yet she gave you traditions and she kept things going and she kept the family going for y'all. Look around. Grandma's mom was gone. Grandma's grandma has been gone for years, yet grandma still continued with those dishes and those traditions and coming together. So there's kind of no excuse. Grandma didn't leave you no excuse, because she gave us traditions. Our matriarchs, our aunts and uncles, our older cousins, grandma's cousins and granddad's cousins, they still came together and did stuff and still made sure that we were a family. So I'm just really trying to figure out where is the disconnect and why is it only one person? I think we got to come out of that. I think when you use that, I think for some relatives, I think you just got to own it. You just don't want to be around the family, or you just don't want nothing to do with the family, or you just don't want to celebrate no more. But don't blame that on one person dying, or the people who consider the glue no longer being here, that can't happen. You know, some of y'all know that y'all know the recipes. Y'all was in the kitchen with Big Mama. Y'all know the recipes. Why can't y'all still cook? Some of y'all was out in the back on the grill with the fried turkey and the ribs on the grill. Why can't somebody get on the grill still? Yeah, maybe Big Mama's house ain't still there no more and you can't go there, but why can't someone use their home and say, okay, Big Mama's no longer here, Grandpa's no longer here, but if she was still here, she would want us to, you know what I'm saying? She would still want us to come together. So what's the holdup? And if your reasoning it was, I only came because of Big Mama or Big Papa or, the last aunt, the final last aunt that passed away, then still do it. I'm coming and I'm doing this in memory of my aunt. Because if she was here, I would be here. I may be in the other room, not dealing with y'all because I don't like half of y'all, but I was still there. You know what I'm saying? If the same way how three of y'all was in one room, or two of y'all was in another room, y'all was talking trash about each other in different rooms, and then you go in another room and they talking trash, and I can't believe it. Do you see how many kids he got now and all this other stuff? What's the holdup? Y'all was doing it before. And then I just think that, a lot of times when the matriarch or the glue dies, all this stuff comes out. Well, oh, I'm not going to rock with y'all no more. I was only doing it because I had a problem with y'all and this and that. And this happened and this. Why do we wait until so-and-so dies to bring up all this stuff? Why don't we ever bring it up before so-and-so dies? Why don't we ever try to resolve issues and problems before the glue dies? Why do we wait? Sometimes that's why the glue sticks around longer and goes through as much pain as they go through, because they're trying to see if hopefully the family can get it right. Let's normalize, let's make things normal. Those posts. Let's normalize not waiting 20, 30 years for things to fester up and build up. And now they done had babies and grandbabies and more issues and more problem. And bitterness has been added to it, and depression has been added to it. Revenge and grudges have all been held again, and blackmail has been held, added on to all of these problems. And let's normalize creating safe spaces, especially in our black families, where we can actually say, this is what happened. This is what's going on. This is why I'm upset. This is why I'm angry. This is why I don't want to rock with y'all. And not let the glue be the only one that's trying to keep the family together. You know how much, that's the reason why sometimes our glue and our matriarchs die a little bit before their time, or they die with a lot of conditions, is because of the stress. You know how much stress it is trying to get everybody to get along and be the peacemaker and be the glue and be the one responsible. Everyone still come over, stop fighting, stop doing this, stop doing that, preaching and doing all this. Get it right before they die. Make them happy. Let them see the family coming together in some type of peace and unity. I'm not saying it's going to be lovey-dovey and peachy-keechy and kiki and ha-ha all the time, but let the matriarchs and patriarchs see y'all coming together in some type of unity, in some type of harmony, some type of peace, some type of getting along. Resolving issues, acting like adults, talking to one another. Facing problems, problem solving. So that way, when they do die, it's a hit, it's a blow. But because y'all are so used to talking and communicating and stating with issues and problems, stuff don't blow up and stuff ain't getting separated because she said this 10 years ago and she said this 20 years ago. And the only reason why I came around because grandma was still here and da-da-da-da. And sometimes shame on grandma and grandpa for not making y'all sit down and say, listen, this is your cousin. This is your cousin. This is your uncle. This is your niece. This is your nephew. Y'all need to talk about this shit because I can't keep on doing this. Yes, I'm the glue, quote unquote. But part of being the glue is y'all are grown ass adults. And let's figure it out. And let's not pass this down to the next generation to where they're not speaking and they doing the same thing. And then, because at one point we are going to be the matriarchs and the patriarchs. We're going to be the pillars. And what would you want that cycle to continue? Okay, now that you're going, the family's in disarray again. And for those who are like, oh, well, I don't talk to them because they don't talk to me and da 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 da. Stop that. Stop that. Be the change you want to see. Practice what you preach. What's wrong with your mouth? Why is it that everybody always got to say hi or reach out to you? Why can't you ever say hi first? Why can't you ever reach out first? You can open up your mouth to suck dick. You can open up your mouth to eat pussy. You can open up your mouth and go on social media and talk all this trash and go live and say this and say that. You can get on social media and use your fingers to write all these long posts and write all these subliminals. You can sure enough use those same fingers to send out a text. Hey, cuz. Hey, auntie. Just checking in. How you doing? How's everyone? Don't blame that on the matriarch. Don't blame that on the patriarch. Blame that on yourself. You're the one who's doing that. You're the one, who's not reaching out. But don't blame that. Oh, well, they don't talk to me. You don't talk neither. Practice what you preach. There's something called karma. There's something called reaping what you sow. Maybe people don't reach out to you because you don't reach out. Maybe you don't make the effort. It shouldn't always be everybody else making the effort. It shouldn't only be the glue. All of us should be the glue. All of us should be putting the pieces together. All of us. We are all a family, not just one or two people. It's just frustrating, tiring. I'm not saying no one's replaceable, but you can still make time and make room. You know what I'm saying? When we do come together after they're gone, maybe bring up a memory. If Auntie so-and-so was here right now, she'll be passed out in the corner drunk. If cousin so-and-so was here, he'll be cussing up a storm and talking trash. If Uncle so-and-so was here, he'll be playing spades and slamming. And then if cousin so-and-so was still here, they'll be in the back rolling dice. And you can kind of still bring them into the equation and bring them into the holiday, bring them into the cookout, bring them into the film reunion, and bring up some memories, bring out some pictures. They can still be there in presence. They can still be there in conversation. Healthily. Don't go talking to the dead and stuff. Don't go talking and talk about you hear them and no. We bind that up and rebuke that. We don't mess with the dead and spirits and all that type of stuff. We keep it holy. We keep it pure. But you know what I'm saying? That there's ways to get around this to when people are no longer here. But it got to start somewhere. We don't want it passing down to our children, and then our children ain't speaking, and and they only not speaking because they see you not speaking, and they not speak, and your children are involved in something that happened before they was even born. And now you got cousins and cousins not talking and speaking because y'all not being adults. And now you got kids and grown folks problems and some more stuff. And it got to start somewhere. We're breaking the curses and breaking the chains and breaking down the way how we negatively communicate, especially in African-American families. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about that or leave it alone or don't say nothing. You need to say something. It needs to be addressed healthily. Everything can't be addressed. Okay. Everything can't be dressed up and dressed over. Everything can't be addressed right away. But certain things shouldn't linger 20, 30 years. And then now all of a sudden it's being said because so-and-so's dead. And now it should have been addressed a long time ago. Those issues should have been dead and buried before the glue was dead and buried. Let's just do better, families, and let's create new traditions. Let's create new norms. Let's create new memories. Let's create healthy boundaries. Let's all put in a better effort not to be so separated as families. Sometimes we're a family. We are a unit. We are connected by blood, by people, by traditions. You know what I'm saying? By people who prayed for us, who cheered us on, who told us to get along. That's your cousin. What you fighting for? Y'all supposed to have each other's back. You get what I'm saying? A lot of our glue, you didn't see them really beefing with their family members like that. because they were trying to be example for us. So let's carry on that example, and let's just leave a lot of this stuff behind, a lot of these excuses. Stuff can still happen and still continue, whether they're here or not. It's up to you. Be the change you want to see. Start it up. Well, no one's going to come. You don't know who's going to come until you start it up. You know what? It's the 4th of July. I'm throwing a big cookout with all the fixings, with all the works. Everyone that's related to that stems from da 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 are all welcome and all invited. Of course, there's gonna be people there. Who's going? Who's there? Da 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 da. I'm not saying who's going. I'm not confirming the list. I'm not saying who's going, who's not going. Either you're coming or you're not. And that'll be on them. But at least you try. At least you dot. Make sure that you dot all the I's and cross all the T's before you just say it's just completely done. It's just completely over. Because it's never completely done and completely over unless the whole family automatically just vanishes and dies and disappears somewhere. But it goes on. And I think that's all I really had to say in regards to, just family. I know it's a tough time for all of us, not just with family, just in 2020 alone, with everything going on. But you can still function, and you can function healthily. You can function as a family. You can function as a unit. Just put in the effort. You'd be surprised. And you shouldn't, because you have great examples. You had the quote unquote glue that did it. That's the reason why you're here and doing after stuff that you're doing now, is because they still continue to when their quote unquote glue left and their matriarchs and patriarchs left. So there really is no excuse. Time for healing, families. If this year hasn't taught you anything else, it's time to heal. It's time to mend some broken pieces. It's time to address some things healthily, so that way we can get over them, and it's not another 20, 30 years, or it's not beef that still gets carried down through generations because stuff ain't addressed. We're a generation where we say how we feel and what we mean, and we mean what we say, and we say what we mean, and we keep it real. Then keep it real. Don't just be bad and throwing subliminals on social media. Be bad enough to go to the person's face and say, cuz I got a problem with you. Auntie, I got a problem with you. We need to talk. I'm an adult, you're an adult. Let's do this man to man. Let's do this woman to woman. Let's try to squash this. Let's try to find some resolve, because I don't want to walk around in bitterness and anger and even if you resolve it, you may not ever go back to being peachy keechy, but at least instead of now being in the house or the same function and half of y'all are outside talking about the people that's inside, y'all might not be rocking with each other, but at least it's no negative energy when everyone's around. It's a neutral energy. It ain't la la la, hey, hey, but it ain't, she got one thing to say, he got one thing. If he come up here and say, I'm going to set it up, at least it ain't that. It's some neutral respect. Okay, I don't really rock with him, but I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's still alive. I'm glad to see the kids, even though I'm not talking to him, he's not talking to me. If my kids want to talk to his kids or her kids, I'm not bringing my kids or their kids involved in this. It has nothing to do with them. At the end of the day, that cousin that I don't rock with is still adult. And even though I treat my cousin one way or uncle or aunt one way, my child is not. You mind your business. They are still an adult. Just because I have a problem with them and I speak to them that way, I'm an adult. You're not going to disrespect your older cousin. And hopefully the same thing. They're saying that about you or me or whoever. I may not rock with cousin Maine-J or Jermaine, like that, but he's still an adult, and you're not going to get involved in something that was happening 10, 15 years before you was even thought of. There's a way to break stuff. There's a way to be an adult about the situation. It's a way to, you can still be the glue and still put the pieces together if you want to. And that's all I got to say. Y'all have a great holiday season. Have a great new year if I don't get back on here. And just, have a great time trying to find some healing, some peace, some resolve after the loved ones and picking up the pieces and doing your part. This has been another episode of Maine-Chat. Please subscribe. Please like. Please leave a comment. Please email me. Or leave me a message. DM me. Peace.